Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I hope everyone's well. In today's video we are gonna talk about my Gameweek 3 team selection. Also I wanna give you an example of an early wildcard and some options for Nunez replacements if you have him in your team. But before we do that, let's just quickly see how my team did in Gameweek 2. So in Gameweek 2 I got a total of 65 points. So it's a score above the average of 57. It's not that amazing, but I am happy with it. 5 players from my team got me returns. Walker and Cancelo, they got a clean sheet. Also Cancelo got an assist as well. The Arsenal boys, Martinelli scored a goal again, and Gabriel Jesus scored 2 goals and got 2 assists. So I would say the people that transferred him out after Gameweek 1 really screwed it up. Haaland also, he got only an assist, but I don't really care about it. When it comes to my captain, as long as he gets some return, I'm happy with it. I don't always look for those 15-20 points from my captain. So an assist is okay, it's enough for me. Salah, on the other hand, he blanked against Crystal Palace when a lot of people thought he wouldn't. I thought he wouldn't too as well, to be honest. But the whole Liverpool team blanked, except Luis Diaz. And I feel as though I have been a little bit unlucky with owning Robertson and Trent, because I watched both of their games and they looked very good in both of them. Robertson, he plays very attacking. A lot of the time he spends in the opponent's box. He could have had a couple of goals. And Trent, like always, he puts a lot of dangerous crosses in the box. But unfortunately both of them didn't get any points in the 2 starting game weeks, but I think that will change very soon. I expect strong points coming from them in the upcoming game weeks, so I'm happy with having them in my team. Now, before we move to Game Week 3, I just really quickly wanted to talk about some players and teams that I think will do good in the upcoming game weeks. So let's just go here. By the way, I don't pay attention to my overall rank at the moment, or at least until Game Week 5 or 6, because I think it's irrelevant right now. A lot of people use their bench boost and their triple captain at the beginning of the season, so they kind of boost their points. I don't really pay attention to it, so let's go. First team I want to talk about is Brentford. They have amazing fixtures coming up. Tony, their striker, he's a very good pick at the moment. Their fixtures are amazing. Last game he created 4 chances, and 2 of those chances were big chances, and he got 2 assists from them. So that shows that he's not only a goal scorer, he can also be creative and get assists as well. So overall he's a very good player to get in your team at the moment, I feel like. Another player that you should consider is Raya, for the same reasons. The fixtures are great for possible clean sheets. He also gets a lot of save points, and if you have goalkeepers like I do, like someone like Ramsdale, or maybe someone like Alisson from Liverpool, and you want to downgrade them, Raya is the pick. And another player that is very popular at the moment, but I personally don't really like him, is Da Silva. So he played 2 games for them and he scored 2 goals, 1 in each game. So people are going crazy about him. He's already risen to 4.6. He could become 4.7 very shortly, but I don't feel like it feels like a waste to me to use a transfer for a 4.5, 4.6 player. Maybe if you are wildcarding, maybe you should have him as your bench player. But other than that, I wouldn't waste a transfer and transfer out Pereira, for example, or Bailey and get him in. That's not my style. Now, another player I wanted to talk about is from Man City, and that player is Phil Foden. He only played 45 minutes, but he managed to get a goal and an assist. He's gonna be very good when he plays together with De Bruyne and Haaland, and I'm sure Pep will find a way to get him in the team, whether it's on the left instead of Grealish or on the right instead of Mahrez. So I do believe he is the best option to have as your third City player, so after Cancelo and Haaland. The reason I don't have him in my team at the moment is because I have Walker, so it takes me, I have 3 players already, so it would take me 2 transfers to get him in, but I think he's a good pick. I think he'll get a lot of points in the upcoming game weeks. I think I will try my best to get him in my team. Now let's briefly talk about Arsenal. They beat Leicester 4-2. Jesus had an amazing game. Not only did he get 2 goals, but he also had 7 shots in the box, which is a stat I like to use quite a lot. It just shows me that the player I'm looking at takes the shots from the correct positions inside the box. So he's pretty much a must-own at the moment. He's probably the highest owned player to ever play to ever be in Fantasy Premier League. Saka, on the other hand, he didn't really get much in Gameweek 2. He blanked. I'm not a fan of him at the moment, for FPL at least. He plays way too wide on the right. He doesn't really cut in the box that much with Jesus being there. So I would say if you have him in your team, it's probably time to think about possibly downgrading him to Martinelli and then using the funds somewhere else. If not, if you have some other transfers to do, then you could hold. He has great fixtures. He is nailed, I believe, so he could potentially turn it around, but it doesn't look good at the moment for him. One more player that impressed is Rodrigo from Leeds. Let me just drink a little bit of water. So Rodrigo, he scored 3 goals already. He's the top scorer in the league. In the game against Southampton, he also had 7 shots in the box, which is an amazing stat for him. He was the best in the league for that, together with Jesus in this game week, and with Bamford potentially being injured, he will be their most important player. I'm not sure how long Bamford could be out. We need to wait and see about that. but Rodrigo could also potentially become their penalty taker. So I would say I know this isn't a very good fixture, but for these upcoming ones he could be a very good pick. I will add him in my watch list, and I will consider him for Gameweek 4 definitely. Now, one more team that has a great fixtures turn, and their fixtures become very good from Gameweek 3 and 4 is Brighton. I'm looking at two players from their team. One is Pascal Gross. He scored 2 goals in Gameweek 1 and Gameweek 2. Even though he blanked, he had a good game. He created 4 chances, but unfortunately Nick Pope was amazing in that game, so Brighton couldn't really score. But that doesn't take away the fact that Gross had a great game. The other player, let me just add him to my watch list as well. The other player I really like from Brighton is Danny Welbeck. He's already on my... yes, I added him Gameweek 1. So he also blanked Gameweek 2. But as a team they look very dangerous going forward, and their fixtures coming up are great. So I think these two players are great options from Gameweek 4 in particular. I am looking at bringing one of them in my team. I'm not really sure which one will it be yet. And one more player that impressed me in Gameweek 2 is actually... no, not Wolves. Is Said Benrahma, I guess it's called like that. So he scored a goal, but it was disallowed because of a foul in the build-up. He also hit the crossbar from a free kick. He looked great, very dangerous, very creative with the ball. He has great fixtures, well, maybe not so great, but West Ham tend to score goals against the bigger teams. At least last season they did. And one thing that slightly puts me off of him is the possible rotation risk. I'm not sure why, but the manager isn't really fond of him. I read somewhere that they're planning to sell him. I don't know why. I think he's one of their best players. So I will add him in my watch list, and I will pay attention in Gameweek 3 and see if he starts the game. If he does, he could potentially become a pick for me, at least for my team, from Gameweek 4. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about is Darwin Núñez. He obviously got sent off in the game on Monday night, so he will miss 3 games, I believe. September 3rd, yes, so he will be back for Everton. So if it was 1 game only, maybe you keep him, but 3 games definitely sell. Now, replacements for him: one good player to get instead of him, like I already said, is Tony from Brentford. Another player is Danny Welbeck as well. I mentioned him already from Brighton. 2 great players. And the third player, which is similarly priced to Núñez, is potentially Jamie Vardy. He's a little bit more costly than him, but he has Southampton at home, which is a great fixture. I don't really rate Southampton at all this season, and he's known for scoring goals against the bigger or the top 6 teams, if you want to call them like that. So he could potentially be a good replacement as well. Now I know a lot of people use their wildcards about now, so I'm gonna give you a quick example of a wildcard team that I would consider doing if I used my wildcards now. So let me just quickly find some players that I think will do good. So Raya, I think, is a good goalkeeper to get right now. Let me just remove these players. Chelsea defenders also could potentially be amazing. I'm not very happy that I don't have Reece James in my team. That's one mistake I feel I did. And another player that could potentially do great in the upcoming fixtures is Marc Cucurella. So I would definitely get them in my team if I wildcarded. Now in the midfield, I would get someone like Luis Diaz from Liverpool. He looks their best player at the moment, and actually, instead of getting another midfielder, I think going for 3 attackers could be better, because there are more options there than in the midfield. Sorry. So I would actually go for Danny Welbeck in attack, and then get some 4.4 or 4.5 midfielder for the bench. So something like this could potentially be a good wildcard team for the upcoming fixtures, in my opinion. Me, however, personally, I won't use my wildcard yet. I plan to use it after Gameweek 8, hopefully. So we will wait and see. Now, the last thing to talk about is my Gameweek 3 team. And for Gameweek 3, first of all, the first decision I made is Leon Bailey. Well, let me just say it like this. I have one free transfer at the moment, because in Gameweek 1, or rather Gameweek 2, I had to transfer in Haaland for Harry Kane. So I don't have the luxury of 2 transfers at the moment. So instead of getting Bailey out for someone like Da Silva, I'm just going to bench him for this game week instead. I was gonna do it for Andreas Pereira, but he has a slight injury concern, so I'm waiting for the news to see what happens with him. But Nico Williams, he could be great for this game week. He got a clean sheet last week, and Everton really struggled to score goals this season. So I'm happy with having him starting for this game week. And the rest of the team, it looks good. I know there are a lot of away games, so maybe there won't be some clean sheets, but I could see a lot of goals being scored from my players. Now I will actually put Bailey here. I'm pretty much done with Bailey. I don't want him to be in my team. He will be on my bench as long as I need to find the transfers to get him out. So this is how my team will look like. One more thing is the captaincy. So there are 3 players that I'm considering about, that I think could be good captain choices this week, and those are Salah, Haaland and Gabriel Jesus. From those three, Haaland actually, I think I rate him the least. He could potentially score as always, but I'm not very sure how many minutes will he get, and this isn't particularly an easy fixture, so I think he falls off the conversation. So the two players I'm thinking about are Salah and Gabriel Jesus. At the moment I am leaning towards Salah a little bit more. The reason for that is United just are really in a problem at the moment. Their fans, I believe they will have a huge protest during the game. They will walk out of the stadium and things like that, and the team isn't very happy. They're all fighting with each other, so I think it's a great fixture for Liverpool to start getting some points. Bournemouth for Arsenal is also great for Jesus in particularly, so I think they're both great, and I will leave it till the end to decide which one will be my captain, but at the moment I think it will be Salah and Gabriel Jesus will be vice. So that's pretty much it. Once again, I will roll my transfer to Gameweek 4, and then with two transfers I will see what is the optimal transfer choice for me and my team at that time. So that's all. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all at the next video. Goodbye.